Hey guys, welcome back. This is a story about what if I train more. I hope you enjoy. So let's start. Izuku had been fairly excited for today, seeing as today was the UA entrance exam day. Sure, he had Bakugo yell at him, nearly face-planted, got scared as a robot tried to kill him, and then was probably gonna get trampled by the giant zero-pointer. But that was light. It was his arm and legs breaking that made today terrible. He may have saved a girl who he thought was cute and pretty, but this still stung. It hurt, and he felt like he just furthered his death. Then that same girl saved him, before recovery girl had fixed him right up. The positives: he was alive. His arm and leg were healed. He could still probably make it into UA. The negatives: he didn't score any points. Not a single one. He had failed not only himself, but he failed the entrance exam. He was only a liability. He failed All Might. He sighed as he recalled today's events and what he assumed was the nurse's office. Could today get any worse? He questioned himself. He then finally sat up and got a good look at where he was. And seeing a female he presumed was a scientist looking at him with a hungry look on her GAAH, the once quirkless teen gasped in fright. He scooted back. WHWH who or YYU, the female scientist seemed to snap back into reality, meaning she was actually daydreaming, and not planning on eating him. She sighed and said, "I'm sorry for scaring you, young man, but you seemed a bit familiar to me." Izuku calmed down a bit. "Oh, sorry for jumping," the scientist smiled. "It's okay. But the power of yours, it's really interesting." Izuku chuckled and rubbed the back of his head as he finally analyzed the scientist. She was a tall female scientist with glasses and long bushy spiky auburn brown hair. She has a gold ring on her left middle finger which signified she was or is married, and she had black nails, most likely painted black. She wore a pair of hoop earrings and a sleeveless blue and red short dress under the white lab coat she wore that went from her shoulders down to her ankles, with opaque black tights which hugged her legs, black arm sleeves which Izuku was curious about, and blue and red heel boots. If Izuku was being honest, this scientist was hot. Why yes, I had just manifested tea today, my quirk, Izuku said. Give a logical and also truthful lie. Smooth move. "Oh, is that why your arm and legs were broken?" she asked. Izuku sighed. "Why I haven't had enough time to control it," the scientist sighed as she went to her computer. "You probably should learn to use it, otherwise it's possible for you to lose control of your arms." Izuku's eyes widened at that. This woman, a scientist who he would admit was hot, just told him he could lose control of his arms if he didn't find a way to use one for all correctly. Well shit. I've ran some tests, and it seems that if you regulated the control correctly, you would actually be able to use 1% of your power. Not the most impressive, but that's not considering what I could do at 100%, the scientist informed. Izuku was thinking about it. But how would I use it at 1%? I barely have control over it, the scientist smiled. "I could be of assistance. I have an android who could help you use your quirk. He'll be able to help," she said. "Oh really?" Izuku asked. Who? So, this is the boy you wanted me to help?" A tall man, who was the android the scientist was talking about, said. "He has icy blue eyes, a red-orange mohawk, and gold hoop earrings. His clothing seemed to consist of a dark undersuit, with a lime green vest with an RR symbol on it, green boots, and green bracers. Yes, he is 16, the scientist confirmed to the android. Izuku was amazed by 16's AI, as it must be really difficult to make a working robot. Especially since not many advances has been made to society because of the rise of quirks. "Greetings, Izuku. I am Android 16, 16 said. "I'll be the one to help you with training your quirk, it's a pleasure to meet you, 16, Izuku greeted back. "How will you be helping me with my quirk?" "Follow me," 16 said as he walked down the beach they stood on. Izuku sighed and followed. It's been 2 days since the scientist had first met Izuku, and today was her day off. Izuku had no school today either, So today was the best day for him to see what she would do to help him. They had exchanged contacts, and Izuku had been mentally panicking because of it, and he said to meet here at Dragaba Beach. And she brought 16. So, how did you meet 21? 16 asked Izuku. Izuku was confused by that. Who's 21? Izuku asked. The one who asked me to help you, 16 said. She's 21, why are you telling me her age? Izuku asked. She's not the age 21, 16 said. She's android 21. Wait, she's an android, Izuku exclaimed. He developed a crush on a hot android. How does that work? Yes, and she billed me to help her out, 16 informed. She was once human though, but her past is a mystery to her. Once human? Did she turn herself into an android? Izuku no, she did not, she just woke up and knew she was an android, 16 explained. But it doesn't matter, let's focus on your training now, right? Izuku said. 16 got into a fighting stance, and Izuku, not actually knowing how to fight, just put his hands in front of him. 16 immediately narrowed it down to several different fighting stances. Come at me when you're ready, 16 said. Izuku then ran forward and then punched 16 square in the stomach. 16 didn't flinch. Izuku's hand hurt after that punch. Is that all? 16 asked. Izuku sighed. Why I actually don't know how to fight, 16 was surprised. I see, he was actually surprised, and he actually showed it on his face. Then I suppose that will have to be the first thing we teach you, Izuku was surprised. Wait, you and 21 are gonna train me? No, me and 16 are going to, a new voice said. Izuku looked and saw a new person who he thought was also an android. He was a tall man of muscular build with black hair. His pure black hair is unkempt with 3 bangs hanging to the right of his forehead and 2 hanging to the left. His hair also stands up in the front with 5 spikes and 4 and has a tan skin tone, and his eyes are more defined and sterner than 21 or 16's. Arguably his most distinctive trait is the long thick rough scar running down his left cheek. He has a long prehensile tail with brown fur which generally was secured around his waist similar to a belt. He wears a dark blue and green battle armor, dark blue combat pants, long red armbands with matching leg warmers, and black and green boots. He also had a red headband on, but Izuku could tell that the headband had a deeper meaning to it other than being a headband. Bardock, 16 said. What are you doing here? The man identified as Bardock scoffed. I heard 21 picked up a kid, and I wanted to know who, and this skinny wimp is unbelievably sad as she said he was important or whatever. Izuku blushed at how Bardock phrased that first bit. But he felt a bit insulted by that last bit. He didn't speak up for himself though. This boy has a powerful quirk he can't control. 21 wants to help him control it. Though, we might need to take a different approach on his training than I thought we would, 16 informed Bardock. Bardock frowned. Well, how bad is it? He needs to have a stronger body, and also needs a fighting style, otherwise, he is a liability, 16 said. Bardock was shocked a bit. He has a powerful power, yet he's too weak to use it and doesn't know how to fight? This is a joke, Izuku snapped, and before he knew it he ran up to Bardock and yelled, Smash! He hit Bardock in the chest and Bardock was sent into a wall, very surprised. And then Izuku felt the pain in his arms. Ow, Izuku yelled. Out in pain. His arm was purple and destroyed like before. Bardock and 16 were amazed by the power and the drawbacks. A powerful power indeed, 16 said. You know, since you hit me kid and actually hurt me, you might be worth my time, Bardock said. You better not disappoint me, Izuku nodded and then he fell unconscious because of the pain. Chapter 2, Hellish Training. Come on kid. Push your limits already and actually hit me, Bardock ordered Izuku as the two sparred, it being the third day after Izuku passed out from breaking his arm against Bardock. Izuku yelled determinedly as he tried to fight the Saiyan warrior on equal footing, but to no avail. Thank you Dragon Noob for pointing this out. There was an error here and they helped me see that. Mistake, P. Ever since Izuku started training under 16 and Bardock, he had noticed that he had gotten a bit stronger and also his muscles developed more. Izuku was surprised the progress he made had resulted in it, but he was impressed. He actually looked good. He had also gotten a bit taller, and when he tried another 100% Detroit Smash on Bardock, his arms wasn't as purple as the other times. He still passed out though, he'd overcome it soon. Izuku tried landing a barrage of jabs, uppercuts, elbow thrusts, lunges, roundhouse kicks, and kicks in general. Bardock dodged them all without breaking a sweat. "Is this all you got?" Bardock taunted. Izuku growled and tried one more punch before the low-class Saiyan grabbed his fist with his left arm and grabbed Izuku's neck with his right and slammed him to the ground. Izuku hit the ground hard and was panting from exhaustion. "TCH, you need to get stronger, kid. This isn't cutting it," Bardock informed the once quirkless teen. "I'm trying," Izuku said. "I'm not as strong as you are, and I probably never will be," Bardock slapped him. "If you think that, it'll be like that," Bardock sighed. "I'm still trying to figure out how you can use that power of yours so it doesn't just destroy you," Izuku sighed. "I'm not sure, even if I activated it in my finger alone it still breaks." Bardock thought about it for a moment. "Wait, you activated it only in your finger?" "Why yeah, not to damage my whole arm," Izuku said before Bardock slapped him again. "Oh now, you idiot. You're not gonna get anywhere if you don't balance your power through your body." Izuku was confused. "If you don't balance your power all throughout your body, then that would be end miserably. You wouldn't be a useful fighter in battle at all and would be a liability. You gotta use your energy even throughout your body, otherwise what you keep doing will get you killed," Bardock informed the once quirkless teen. Izuku then got an idea. Wait, I have an idea." Izuku then got into a position that Bardock thought was similar to when someone charged a key. "I may not be able to use a lot of one for all, but I can do something else. I can use 5%, then Izuku had a dark and light green aura with red lighting crackling in and out of existence around him. Bardock's eyes were open in shock, because the aura Izuku had reminded him of the Super Saiyan auras. Not to mention the fact the kid's power increased by 5 smiled. "Interesting, can you still move in that form?" Bardock asked. Izuku looked at Bardock. "I don't know if I can, but I'm thinking on calling this full cowling." Bardock entered his battle stance. "Why don't we find out?" "Fine by me." Izuku jumped at the Saiyan warrior and managed to land a punch to his stomach, and Bardock smirked as he kicked Izuku in his face after backflipping. Bardock flew at Izuku and punched him twice in the stomach before kicking him into the sand and landing back on the ground. "This is getting exciting," Bardock thought. Izuku appeared and charged Bardock again. Bardock made a ki blast appear in his right hand and then threw it at Izuku, aiming at the boy in order to defeat him. To be continued. Thank you for listening. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe.